in his section championship night on Channel 12 at the 5-4A title game featuring the number 2 seed, the Osseo Orioles, and the top-seeded Champlin Park Rebels. Hello and welcome to Rogers High School. John Jacobson and Ryan Iverson. And Ryan, what a great contest tonight between two very talented teams. They've played each other already twice during the season. Champlin Park wins the first game, Osseo the second. This one, a spot at state on the line.
Well, it's kind of fun when they split the season, and what's kind of funny, you know, Champlin Park, really high scoring. Osseo actually won the high-scoring game between the two of them. In the first one, low-scoring game, Champlin eked that one out. So it's kind of contrasting styles, but the two key words are section championship. There's a magic here tonight, and it's energetic, and it's really fun. So it's going to be really exciting.
Osseo had some stumbles late January, early February, but right at the ship down the stretch, finished 21-7. They're the number 2 seed. They're very confident. They would like to slow the pace tonight against the Rebels.
I think the key word you said, John, is confidence. And they 2 years removed from a state championship. This is their 4th consecutive, section championship. They got the experience. They've been here. They've done that. They got their big fella, Ian Tyson, back. He's getting healthy. They got Wheeler Baker, who's arguably one of the most talented guards in the state. So they're firing on all cylinders, and they believe that, hey, we've been here before, we can do it again.
Champlin Park 25-2 on the season, Northwest Suburban Conference champions. Really a terrific year for them. Got a scare certainly in the semifinals, and when they beat Park Center the other night, a team they had blown out twice during the season. So they know they kind of escaped that one. They have to be on their A game against the talented Osseo team.
Some of the problem, John, when you're really successful and you blow everybody out or the majority of your opponents, you get into a close game and you're not used to it. I think having a close game against Park Center on Tuesday, I think that was great experience for them because they had to dig deep, they had to execute down the stretch, and they're coming in here, like you said, 2 losses all year long. They know they can win. Coach Mark Tuxer said this is the most special group of kids he's been around, just from their camaraderie, their confidence, the way they treat each other, the way they approach practice. So he's excited, and they got as good a shot as anyone, not only to get out of this section, but either team to maybe make a run at a state championship too.
Key players starting with Osseo, Ian Tyson, who missed a dozen games during the season with an injury. He's come back. He's played 3 games, still not 100%, but certainly him at 80% even is pretty good for Osseo, and he's going to be a key player for them tonight as they look to go inside.
And you can pick Wheeler Baker every game to be a key player because he's got to score, but Ian Tyson, not only is it 15 points, 10 rebounds, in this matchup in particular, Brendan Witt's the biggest guy on the floor for Champlin. He's 6'5". So Ian Tyson, being 6'10", 6'11", having that size event, not only defensively but offensively, going inside out. His presence tonight, and not only just being on the floor, John, but being effective, I think could be the difference between winning and losing for Osseo.
For Champlin Park, we've talked a lot during the season of the games we've done of the Rebels about their senior captains, Brendan Witt and Ian Smith, but they've got some talented juniors, the other 3 guys in the starting lineup, including Jeremy Johnson, who had a big night Tuesday against Park Center.
What I love about Jeremy Johnson, he's that 6'4", 6'5", long, athletic, great defender, gets to the rim and guards good people too. He's a great man-on-man defender, but he's shown the ability to knock the 3-pointer down. And when Champlin has 4 guys that can all knock 3-pointers down, they are extremely tough to guard. So his role tonight, I think they would love to see him in that 15 to 20-point range, be that 3rd scorer, because then they're really hard to guard.
And the winner moving on to the state tournament next week at Target Center. We'll tip it off in a moment at Rogers. Champlin Park and Osseo for the Section 5 championship next on Channel 12.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back to Rogers High School. Lineups being introduced in the section final championship game. Osseo, the number 2 seed. Champlin Park, the 1 seed. Ian Tyson, the big senior, all-time leading scorer at Osseo.
Mr. Tim Tyson.
Let's look at the starting 5 for each of these teams tonight. For the 2 seed, the Orioles of Osseo, Jordan Dembley and Wheeler Baker, a talented backcourt. Ian Tyson, the center, Connor Kittleson and Giovanni Pastrano, the forwards. For Champlin Park, the guards, Marty Hill and Jeremy Johnson, J.T. Gibson and Ian Smith. Brennan Witt is the forward. Ryan, quick keys for this game before we start.
Yeah, some of the keys, John, tempo. You know, Champlin Park with Hopkins is the highest scoring offensive team in the Metro. Can they get out to a quick start? Are they able to trap and press? Talking to Coach before the game, Coach Tucker, he said, we're going to try to double team, trap the ball, trap Wheeler Baker, create turnovers. When they do that, John, their offense is prolific. They'll get into the 90s. Accordingly, we're talking to Coach Tyson. He said, we want to keep this game in the 50s. So there's a discrepancy. Something's got to give. Who wins the battle of the tempo? The other thing is Wheeler Baker, who's a great offensive scorer for Osseo, but he's not that tall, only about 6 foot. He's going to be guarded, to start out by Ian Smith, who's short, but Champlin has a lot of length. And is that going to bother him? Are they going to get a hand up and deflect his shots or bother his shots? Scoring for Osseo, Ian Tyson, Wheeler Baker, who's going to be that 3rd or 4th guy that they're going to need to maybe be in double figures tonight? And last is handling pressure. You're playing Champlin, handle their pressure. They play at such a fast pace. Can you handle the pressure? Can you stay poised and execute, get the shot that you want? We saw Park Center really do that for most of the game, but then start playing fast at the end. You can't get caught up. You got to play your game. But again, experience for Osseo too, John. They've been here, they've done that, and I think that's an invaluable part of winning basketball is having experience.
We talked about this the other night, Ryan, when we were doing the semifinal game between Champlin Park and Park Center about this site. I love Rogers High School for section basketball. Seating on 4 sides, a nice scoreboard, a big venue, well-lit court. Just a terrific atmosphere, I think.
It really is, and it's actually really loud in here. I think because of the way it's built and the space, it's loud, it echoes, and both these teams are obviously in close proximity to each other. Ian Tyson actually lives in Champlin Park, so their crowd's going to be on him. So it should be a really, really fun atmosphere. And of course, you get the 2 best color commentary and play-by-play guy in the upper Midwest doing the game. So
Where's
it's
that?
a win-win.
Us. Oh, thank you. Let's get ready to go. Witt against Tyson. Winner goes to state. Tap controlled by the Rebels. Ian Smith had some big baskets late for Champlin Park in the semifinal win on Tuesday.
He was great, John. And the other thing, too, is Champlin, being in the section finals, are they going to be nervous? Are they going to be able to have the jitters? Are they going to just be able to execute? They've won a lot this year, obviously, but one of their 2 losses coming against Osseo earlier in the year. And the other matchup is Ian Tyson versus Brennan Witt. Obviously, Brennan Witt's given up quite a bit of weight and size, but on the flip side, he's got the quickness and maybe the athleticism, too. So that's a matchup that I think is going to play a big part of this game.
Baker gets it down low, uses the glass a little too strong. Tyson gathers in the rebound. Short jumper for him, comes up short. Loose ball, Witt trying to get it, and he does get it back on the pass to Smith. Gibson thought about the 3, penetrates, kicks it back out. And then back comes Osseo. Dembley back for Tyson, thought about the 3 down low, nice pass, and Connor Kittleson has the first points of the game.
What a great pass. And actually, Ian Tyson, if those of you haven't seen him, he can knock that perimeter shot down. He's really expanded that. And the defense collapsed on him, and he saw the wide open guy into the basket. Unselfish play, beautiful pass to start the scoring here tonight.
Smith drive, kick out, Johnson 3, missed. Out of bounds off Tyson.
And the other thing with that Tyson and Witt matchup is Brennan Witt gets so many offensive rebounds because he's long and athletic and quick. And having Ian Tyson in this game, to solidify defensive rebounding, I think could be a huge advantage for the Orioles.
Hill the inbound, Gibson 3 comes out. Loose ball, still on the floor. Tyson gets it and gets it off for Kittleson. Pastrano can't handle it and finally chased down by Johnson, who's double teamed in the corner. Back to Smith, a wild sequence that finally ends up in the hands of Gibson.
It's like it's a hot potato out there, but you love, John, you see the effort already. We're a minute and a half into this, and we've seen about 5 different guys dive on the floor. I mean, you can tell that the energy, it's win or go home, and you certainly feel that energy in this building.
Smith comes around Tyson and scores.
What a tough bucket. You know, Ian Smith, he's only 5'11", he's not tall, and he took contact, great body control, and able to finish. His scoring, John, in that last game was huge for them. I think if you talk to Coach Tucker, they want him in that high teens, 20s as their primary ball handler, decision maker.
He had 24 against Park Center. Turnover by Osseo. Hill front court for Champlin Park.
And you feel the kind of jitteriness by both teams, and whoever can settle down first and just start playing basketball.
Johnson up and in, and Champlin Park has the lead.
And that's what he does. He knocked down a bunch of threes the other day, but that's his game. Getting 1-2 dribbles, he bounces really well, and he releases the ball high, and there's no one going to block his shot. Very athletic kid.
Pastrano goes baseline, try to feed it into Tyson on the inside, tie up, nope. Witt able to get the loose ball ahead to Gibson. Baker gets back defensively and gets the block, and back comes Osseo the other way. Dimbley pushing it ahead for the Orioles. Shot won't go. Tyson scored on a foul.
I was just going to say, John, they're really letting the play go. I mean, look at this play. Wheeler Baker, who's given up about 4 inches, hits that against the glass. And then how about the effort here? You can see the missed shot. Ian Tyson with the offensive rebound. That's what he does. That is his game. He's got that height. He's got great hands. Takes the contact. Beautiful play, and that's the first foul of the game. And I like that the refs are kind of letting it go.
Elliott Kane in and Pastrano out. And Mark Tuchscherer, 8th-year head coach for Champlin Park.
And he's done a great job, John. He's built this culture, and we were talking to him before, and he said all these guys are best friends. They've been dreaming and talking about going to state, and this year they've lived that dream out. They just got one more to go to get there.
Marty Hill's shot up and in.
Marty Hill and Jeremy Johnson are very similar, John. You notice that when they're playing. I mean, they both kind of about the same height, both very athletic and long.
Lob, nicely done. Kane with the pass to Kittleson.
Yeah, great post feed. Jeremy Johnson was fronting him, and he thought he had help, I think, baseline. If you're going to front, you got to have someone behind you so they can't throw it over the top.
Hill, back-to-back jumpers down for him, and Champlin Park back in front.
Even though he's knocked 2 of those down, I think that's a shot that Osseo would live with. Him hitting a contested 15-footer.
Baker tried to dump it off for Tyson. Last touch by Champlin Park. And Tim Tyson, as mentioned, 4th straight section final, I should say, for the Orioles. And Coach Tyson's had great success at state, 3rd place 3 years ago, 2nd place, or champions rather, 2 years ago on Ian Tyson's winning shot. That was a great state final when Tyson as a sophomore hits the championship winning team. That was a great team. And DJ Abear and Bridge Tussler was a junior that year.
You know, and Ian Tyson can knock that 3-point shot down, but you'd love to just get him down low where there's no one. Oh, beautiful move. What a move. And you can see Jeremy Johnson, how quick and long. And that time he was going against Connor Kittleson, and he just had the quickness, blew by him. But you'd love to see Ian Tyson just bury his butt down on the post, and they just work it to him where no one can guard him.
Kane misses the 3 that would have tied it. Hill for 3. Timeout Osseo. Rebels lead by 6.
Big shot right there. Look at that. That was that move. Jeremy Johnson going to his left. Just too quick, too long. And then here, Johnson pushing it, finding his teammate Marty Hill. And we talked in the pregame, if those two especially, if they're knocking perimeter shots down and you throw in Ian Smith's ability and combined with Brendan Witt's athletic ability, John, I mean, they can score anywhere on the court and they become really hard to guard. And we saw them on Tuesday. They started out and hit all those threes, and then when they stopped, you know, they were missing them. That's when Park Center was able to get back in the game. If they are consistently knocking those down, they can beat anyone in the state of Minnesota on any night.
those fans that have turned out for tonight's game. Good student crowd for both of these schools. Great to see.
Yeah, it's packed, and that's what you like. You know, you're in the section finals. Your school's behind you. They're proud. They're excited. You know, Osseo's been here and done that. Champlin hasn't.
Shot missed by Baker.
When you can see they put Ian Smith on Wheeler Baker, and because he's got the quickness to stay in front of him, he's really able to get up into him, and they're going to force Wheeler Baker to try to drive rather than give him open shots because he's such a great shooter.
Johnson thought about the three, so did Gibson. Back to Johnson, who takes it. Back iron, no. Witt rebounds. Back to Smith. He'll shoot a three.
Well, you can see the confidence that they're playing. They start seeing a couple of these threes fall, and it becomes contagious. But that play was made. Brennan Witt getting onto the offensive glass. In the zone, you've got to find a guy and box out. You cannot give a team like Champlin Park, who's got such a great offense, you can't give them second and third chances.
Roberson comes up short on his shot. Rebound to Johnson. He'll take it to the hole, and is fouled by Roberson. He'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, what I like there is that, was that Marty Hill that did that? Or was that Jeremy Johnson?
Jeremy Johnson.
Okay. I love that. He could have settled for about a 15-footer there. Instead, he put his head down, and he attacked, put the pressure on, and I like that aggressiveness. Referees will reward you when you attack like that. So a really heads-up play by Jeremy Johnson.
First foul of the game on Osseo as Johnson comes up short on the free throw. Tyson out, Pastrano back in for Osseo.
Well, let's see with Tyson out, Pastrano in. Let's see if they start going down to Brennan Witt. They've kind of been guard-oriented here to start. And now that the big fella's out, let's see if Champlin's able to maybe exploit Brennan Witt, who is their leading scorer.
We'll spread the floor more now with Tyson out.
Well, and interesting, too, I mean, when Osseo beat Champlin earlier in the year, it was without Ian Tyson. So, I mean, they can win. They're capable of beating this team with or without Ian Tyson.
Pastrano. Witt's got a hand in his face. Through the hands of Kane. Turnover Osseo. Alex Lebo is in the game off for Witt, who had it stripped and is taken right back by the Orioles.
That was a tough pass. Lebo set his teammate up really with nowhere to go. A bounce pass low in traffic. There was really not much Brennan Witt could do with that. There you can see the run and jump on Wheeler Baker. They want to get the ball out of his hands. And they're going to say, hey, listen, if someone else beats us, fine, but we're not letting Wheeler Baker beat us.
Knocked away from Roberson. Another Orioles turnover. Johnson. To Smith and back for Gibson.
Watch Brennan Witt in the middle of the floor here, John. They're going to get it to him. Let's see if he's a little bit more aggressive tonight than he was the other night.
Lebo three-ball is good. 13-point Champlin Park lead.
It's raining tonight. It is raining from everywhere, and it's contagious, John. I can tell you, as a scorer, as a basketball player, you see a teammate knock it down, all of a sudden, it's contagious. Everyone's knocking it down.
Baker moves Johnson off the block, missed the shot, though. Lebo push it ahead. Nowhere to go. Ball knocked into the backcourt, and it's Gibson with it. Off for Smith. Lebo fire up another three. This one off the mark, and the rebound pulled down by Dembley.
And I think Coach Tuxer, he'll live with that shot, even though it probably wasn't a great shot, but the way they've been shooting, they kind of take advantage of the momentum you got. But watch the attention on Wheeler Baker.
Kane's three. That won't go. Rebound by Pastrano, and he's fouled and will shoot two.
I think it's a great strategy that Champlin's doing, is that they're going to make someone other than your best player beat you. Every time Wheeler Baker's catching it, there's a second guy running at him, and it's forcing him to get rid of it and forcing other guys, you know, such as Elliot Kane or Connor Kittleson to try to make shots. And I think Champlin, that's a smart strategy. I think they'll live with those shots.
Strano hitting first free throw for his first point tonight. Tyson back in for Osseo, replacing Roberson. And Wright and Hill back in for Champlin Park. And Johnson, who just picked up his second foul, out along with Smith.
Yeah, and that's a big foul. I mean, Jeremy Johnson off to a great start. You know, really can do it everything, and he's confident, and he attacks the basket so hard. I think getting him out of the game, that's a big loss here early with foul trouble for Champlin.
Nearing the midway point of the first half, 12-point Champlin Park lead. Marty Hill, Baker on him. Drives and kicks it out. Right from the corner. McKinley Wright missing the three, and the rebound to Pastrana.
Well, good defense by Osseo, forcing that driving kick. McKinley Wright, only a freshman. Force him to hit the shot, get the ball out of the hot hands right now. Kind of an interesting lineup for Champlin. You know, they're without Ian Smith, without Jeremy Johnson.
Baker pulling it back out. Now across for Dembley.
And again, you're seeing the freshman McKinley Wright guard Wheeler Baker.
Baker here, short on the shot. Rebound as it tapped to Pastrana, puts it up and in.
And Pastrana got the credit for the basket. Ian Tyson with his hands able to keep that alive. I don't know if he tried to do that, but he tipped it almost like an assist tip. And that's a big play, big offensive rebounds. And Osseo so far has been able to do that a couple times.
Hill across for Wright. Lebo down on the block. Witt trying to take it against the bigger Tyson, then kicks it back out. Hill makes a three.
He's certainly feeling it today. He's got 10 early points. First player double figures. And he's kind of doing what Jeremy Johnson did, John, earlier in the week. You know, coming out and hitting a bunch of threes. And again, if you got shooters to surround Brennan Witt down low, I mean, they are really, really tough to guard.
Baker gets a screen, get a blocking call on Witt, who thought Baker kind of led with his elbow a little bit. Witt called for the foul.
It's Oscar season, John. I don't know if you know that. And there was some acting going on. You know, that could have been a foul either way or a non-foul. But either way, I mean, you're seeing the attention of Wheeler Baker. And you know, Osseo is so good when he's scoring in that 25 to 30 point range. If he's not, you just wonder where else is that scoring going to come from.
Lob down to Tyson, and great feed, and he puts it in.
That's the second time tonight Champlin's fronted the post. Osseo been able to throw it over the top, and there's been no help defense.
Smith tries, he'll go to the line for two.
You know, the other thing that's impressive about Ian Tyson, he's got great hands for a big guy. That was not a great pass. He's able to keep it up, and he keeps the ball up high. So when guards come down and try to strip it, you love, as a big fella, you love that he keeps it up high. Great touch around the basket.
That foul on Allen Anderson, 5'11" sophomore guard, his first. Alex Hilly in tonight for the first time. Brendan Witt out.
Well, now especially with Hilly in there, I mean, there's a big height and a big weight difference between Hilly and Ian Tyson. Let's see if Osseo is able to exploit that.
Smith gets both free throws. Champlin Park's made 3 out of 4 from the line. And again, 13-point lead. They've had that 3 times so far.
Champlin switching it up here, doing a 1-3-1. Just trying to keep Osseo. Yeah, you can't play around with the ball. Baker
gets it for Pastrana, back out. 3-point try from Anderson, long. Hilly tried to get to it, and Lebo does gather it in. And leave it for Smith. Ian Smith drives, and blocked from behind by Pastrana. Nice block by Pastrana. Back comes Osseo. Pastrana putting it on the floor. Kicks it back out to Kane. Baker, top of the key 3, off the mark. Chased down by Smith, and a timeout for Champlin Park.
That was, I mean, watch the athleticism. Pastrana here leaves his feet, big time block. But that last shot by Wheeler Baker, John, that was really the first good look he's got where he stepped into it, was in rhythm. It was a nice extra pass. You know, he's just not been able to score. This is what's important for him. As a scorer, a big game, you kind of press him a little bit. He's got to get something going to the basket, something where he can knock a layup down, a mid-range, or get fouled, get to the free throw line, something to get his offense initiated. Let's see if Coach Tyson draws something up that's able to put Wheeler Baker in a really good position to score.
Baker averaging 23 points per game. No points in the first 11 minutes.
You know, but we've seen him also put 12, 15 points up in about a 3-minute stretch. So he's one of those kind of scorers. He can get hot. He's got the green light. But I know that feeling. I've started some of these big games where you just start pressing a little bit. Sometimes you just need a fast break layup, a free throw, whatever it might be, just to get the net off the rim.
Right back for Smith. right, to go baseline. Thought about the shot, and then passed through the hands of Hilly and Baker. They find Lebo in the corner. He missed. Right, trying to corral the ball. Still battled for, and Champlin Park gets it. Hilly with a three. That comes up short. Rebounded by Wright. Back to Hilly.
You're seeing a smaller Champlin team just beating Osseo over the ball here, getting extra possessions.
Smith tried to get it to Lebo, knocked away by Kane.
And what was key is that there was a point there, John, where Wheeler Baker looked like he had possession and could have maybe gotten off, for a fast break. So instead, they get a couple more possessions out of it. And again, it becomes a numbers game. The more you give a good offense possessions, the more they're gonna capitalize eventually. So you got to finish off these possessions and secure a defensive rebound.
Jordan Dembley back in for Osseo. He's on Smith. Smith puts it on the floor, then gives it to Hilly for the nice layup.
Beautiful play by Ian Smith. He's averaging 6 assists a game, but I mean, he drew big fella Ian Tyson right to him, and Hilly was right there, and great job catching and finishing it over the bigger Tyson.
Nice pass. They work it down to Tyson. Dembley the assist.
And I love how they attack that. You can tell they're prepared. They got the ball in the middle of the floor. Defense comes up. They drop it off to the big fella, and you can see how quick he finishes when he catches it down low.
Hilly across for Wright. Lebo right corner. Back out to Smith. Ian Smith will crossover. Tough shot in the lane. He hits again. He's hit a couple of tough jumpers.
He uses his body. He's a little guy. That time you had Jordan Dembley, who was much bigger, much taller. And you can see he bodied him up, got some space, and beautiful touch too from that about 6 feet away from the rim.
Ball cross to Baker. Ball knocked away. Steal for Champlin Park. Johnson for Smith. Blocking foul. And Smith will go to the line for 2 as they whistle Kane.
Yeah, Wheeler Baker, something seems off right there. It's uncharacteristic. I mean, he just throws that right over to Marty Hill. I think maybe he's thinking he was some contact, but that's the right call. That time, I don't believe Elliot Kane was set on that. And give Ian Smith credit. He saw that, attacked it, and going to get to the free throw line. But you can see how quick, too. You know, they remind me a lot of Hopkins, John. They take a turnover and create it into points so fast and so efficient.
Gibson, Johnson, and Witt all in.
With the exception of Marty Hill and Alex Hilly in for him, you got the starting lineup back here for Champlin. And smart move, too. You get a couple of your starters, a minute or 2 break.
Smith gets the second free throw. 16-point lead with 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, that's critical. 16. Osseo, obviously, there's so much time left. You always look at it in pieces. Can we get this thing maybe under 10, under 8 at halftime? You know, cut this in half. Just take it, you know, minute by minute, possession by possession. Oh, beautiful pass.
Great feed from Tyson, who's being doubled, finds the open guy, Dembley.
You love an unselfish player. He knows he's going to draw a lot of attention. He gets the ball, everyone just collapses. And if you're one of his teammates, you got to cut to the basket like that. You're going to get fed. He's unselfish. So great pass.
Hilly hits the corner 3.
He's got his season average already. You know, averaging just over 5. He's got 5 here. And again, I think if you're Osseo, you'll live with him shooting threes. If he's knocking those down, you know, that's a long day.
Baker trying to get on the scoreboard, can't do so. Kittleson rips it up and in.
Kittleson, I mean, he was just resilient. He stayed with it. Looked like he was fouled a little bit, didn't panic, just ripped it through. Persistence always pays off, and that time he followed through. And there's not a lot of shot blocking on Champlin. Brendan Witt can block shots, but if you get an offensive rebound, you can go up and score on it. It's not like there's an Ian Tyson on that end of the floor to block your shot.
Smith misses. Orioles rebound. Tyson on the floor. Little jump hook in the lane, up and in.
That move at this level is unguardable. If they can get that ball to him, he can take one dribble, use his body, keep the ball up high where no one else is going to block it. I mean, it's unguardable. They should continue to go to him, especially with Wheeler Baker struggling.
Witt, foul, or it's blocked by Tyson, gets it ahead to Kane for Baker, lays it in.
Nice. Great defense, Ian Tyson. Elliot Kane saw Wheeler Baker running, gave him the ball. He John. Let's see if that gets him going offensively. That's exactly what Osseo needed.
Tyson with a great block. 6-0 run for the Orioles. Smith. Witt underneath. Nice reverse for his first basket.
Yeah, and that's what he does. He's so crafty underneath there. He's got great hands, great footwork. We saw him struggle with that, John, earlier in the week. There, he's able to.
Dembley has it stripped and fouled by Gibson. Stole the ball, and Dembley commits the foul.
Yeah, now what's all set up? I mean, great defense, and you can see Tyson had his hands up. Now, Elliott Kane could have attacked that. Instead, I think he knew, I got my guy running with me. Let's see if I can get him going. We're going to need him, and he made a great unselfish play. Wheeler Baker explodes, gets the layup. And again, I think that's huge. That's how as a scorer, you just get a bucket, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can play. You settle down a little bit, you're not nervous.
Here's Witt attacking, comes up short, rebound, knocked away from Johnson. A moment ago, going back to that last play, Dembley, a smart foul. He kind of grabbed them. Lucky he didn't call for an intentional foul, but he stopped a fast break the other way, and they're not in the bonus, so they make Champlin Park work on this possession to try to get two.
The thing is there, and there's going to be a hold, I believe, on Wheeler Baker. Yeah, coming off underneath there. But what's tough against this Champlin defense is that they start four guards that really are interchangeable. And so when you do get a switch and they all got long arms, you can't play with the ball in front of you. You can see a number of times they're doing crossovers and Champlin's getting hands on it. You got to protect it.
Marty Hill, that's a 2-foot on the line. Marty Hill has been hot from the perimeter.
Well, and you know what's been impressive too is Brendan Witt, how unselfish he is. We saw it last game too. He draws a lot of attention. He probably could have forced up a shot. Instead, he sees Marty Hill, who's had the hot hand. He's got 12 here, John, and he's really shooting the basketball well. I told you we should have highlighted him in the pregame.
Kane driving, little floater for him up and in.
Oh, that's big. You know, we wondered where was that other scoring going to come from. If they can get Elliott Kane into that 8 to 12 point range, that's going to be great.
Johnson, Hill long on this jumper from the baseline. And Osseo has it. Kane had a big game off the bench scoring against Maple Grove in the semifinals. Key for them in their win over the Crimson. Nice spin, but then Witt gets the block on the shot by Kittleson.
And that's what kind of shot blocker he is. You know, he's not an Ian Tyson that's going to defend the rim. He comes over on the weak side here, and you can see that. He's waiting for him, and he's long, and he's a quick jumper. He's a remarkable athlete. And he sends that out. But I like what Osseo's doing. Even Connor Kittleson, he's being aggressive here. He's got 6 early points, going at the basket. I mean, that's something you can live with.
Kittleson, out top is Baker, puts it on the floor, driving, and he's fouled. Tucker didn't like that. But you talked about this, and you know, often officials, no matter what team you play for, you attack the basket. A lot of times you're going to get
the benefit
call.
of the doubt.
Yeah.
Just from watching that, it looked like that should have either been a no call or even an offensive foul. But again, good for Wheeler Baker. And you can see, John, he got that layup. Now he's not settling for the contested three. He's got a little bit more bounce, a little bit more swagger, that quick step, and he's attacking. And God, I can't tell you how, as a scorer, now he's at the free throw line, he gets 4 points. You start feeling better, and you're just not pressing as much.
Second one is good, so 4 points here late in the half.
Yeah. Well, it was 16. They got it to 11. If they can get a stop, maybe get another bucket, they get it under double digits. You go into halftime feeling pretty good about where you were and where you are now.
45 seconds to go in the half. Hill, baseline, Witt. Down low, knocked away. Good defense by Baker. Gibson thought he was fouled. Baker knocking it out of bounds. Still Rebels basketball.
What I'd like to see Brendan Witt, when he has Ian Tyson coming out away from the basket, is to use his quickness and maybe attack him off the dribble.
30 seconds to go. Gibson trying to take Dembley. Tough shot off the glass. Witt had a hand on it. Ball loose on the floor, and Tyson gets it for Baker. Baker attacking, and he's fouled.
Beautiful move, nice aggressive move. I love that step through. He's going right, and he picks the ball up, splits the defenders. And again, John, you're aggressive, you're attacking. Watch this move. He goes right between both of them. And that's smart basketball. That's a great offensive player. No one, you know, the ability to get fouled, it's a skill. You know, it really is, and he knows it. And that's just a heck of a move in transition.
Free throw missed by Baker after he had knocked 2 down a moment ago. The last foul was on Smith, his first.
37-26.
Second one is good. 10-point game with 15 seconds to play.
See if they get Ian Smith here going to the basket.
Smith attacking, lost it out of bounds.
Great hands. I think that was Elliott Kane that snuck his hands with the reach around behind, able to knock it off. And they're lucky because Ian Tyson was going away from the basket on Brennan Witt. There was a lane for Ian Smith to get a layup. Instead, knocked about, a turnover there. Let's see if Osseo can capitalize.
5 seconds, then Dembele to take it away by Gibson. Feeds it off for Smith at the buzzer.
What a turnaround. We have a turnover. You think Osseo's going to get the last shot? How about JT Gibson there with the awareness, the court sense to know the time. Instead of forcing a bad three, he's able to hit Ian Smith, who's running hard. A layup at the buzzer. What a swing of events there, and a momentum changer going into halftime, John.
Great first half, especially for Champlin Park. Osseo probably not so much. They trail by 12, 39-27. Halftime of the Section 5 4A championship. We'll come back with more from Rogers High School after this timeout.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Halftime at Rogers, 39-27. Champlin Park leading Osseo, the 1 seed versus the 2 seed for a trip to state. Highlights from the first half of play. Blocked by Wheeler Baker, starting the Orioles back the other way. Jordan Dembele a miss here, but he and Tyson fouling up and scores 2 of his 9 points plus a foul there.
Well, that right there, that move by Marty Hill, he's been the story, John. You know, just knocking threes down, getting to the basket.
A lot of threes for Champlin Park. Alex Lebo hitting one there. Alex Lebo, and then a 3 coming up here for Marty Hill. 5 3-pointers made by Champlin Park in the first half. Another one here from the corner from Alex Hilly. Osseo's game, of course, not really the perimeter 3-point shooting game that the Rebels is. They like to go inside to this guy, Ian Tyson.
Well, and if I'm Osseo, I'm doing that every possession to start the second half. Try to get him the ball. Maybe they'll get some, you know, Champlin Park to collapse, get some threes. This was a huge play too, John. It was Wheeler Baker's first basket in transition. He was able to score 5 points there in the last about 2 minutes of the first half.
Another 3 from Hill, who's knocked down 2 threes in the first half. And then the big play at the end of the half, the steal by Gibson, then a finish by Smith at the buzzer to make it, instead of perhaps what could have been an 8 or 7-point game, a 12-point game at halftime. Leading scorers, Tyson with 9 to pace Osseo. Hill and Smith, 12 points apiece for Champlin Park. We're at halftime of the Section 5 4A Boys Basketball Championship. 39-27, the Rebels up on the Orioles. We're back with more on 12 Sports in a moment.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Before a full house at Rogers High School, 39-27. Champlin Park leads Osseo as we get ready for the second half. What does Osseo need to do to turn this around?
Yeah, I think they got to get Wheeler Baker established. They got to get him off early here, get the confidence going. You know, Coach Tyson said he wanted this game in the 50s, and obviously 39 in the first half. Defensively, they got to do what they're doing. I don't, you know, can Champlin sustain all the making those threes? I don't know, but they got to figure it out offensively. I'd start with Ian Tyson down low, see if they can get Wheeler Baker some looks to get him going.
Tyson baseline jumper, shot won't go. It's a good look for him. He's a good shooter from that range, but it didn't hit. Hill to Johnson. Johnson shot blocked by Pastrano out of bounds. And Johnson sat a good share of the first half, got those 2 fouls fairly early.
Yep.
And he's back in here to start the second half.
The other thing too, John, I think getting off to a good start in the second half for Osseo. That last bucket right before halftime was a really big momentum killer. And Champlin's used to playing with a big lead. They know how to do that. Can Osseo get off to a good start here? Keep this to, you know, a 6 to 8 point game where they can make a run towards the end of it.
They've got to get it down to that margin.
Right.
Yeah. Johnson stepping inside Kittleson. Down low pass intended for Witt, knocked away by Tyson.
You know, and I love that pass too. And you can just see, you know, Brendan Witt told this guy, you know, shoot that. You're open. You've been knocking him down. But you love both teams really unselfish. You know, no one really forcing bad shots, trying to make the extra pass and make the right play.
Inbound comes to Witt, gets it off for Smith. Hill open for 3, missed. Rebound by Baker.
You know, and that's the difference. First half, those shots were going in. So that was good defense. Also doing a nice job of keeping Champlin everything around the perimeter.
Pastrano will leave him open for a 3, in and out, rebounded by Hill.
And that could have been huge. There'd be another guy putting points on the board, cutting it back under 10.
Gibson, 3 is good.
Instead of a 3-on-1 there, that's a 6-point swing. That ball was halfway in and out for Osseo. JT Gibson, who hadn't scored in the first half, knocks down the first 3 here in the second half.
Kittleson left open, his 3 off the mark. Hill rebounds.
You know, and that's what Champlin, oh, great extra pass, John.
Johnson 3, won't go though, and rebounded by Kittleson.
And you see Coach Tyson wasn't happy with that 3 by Kittleson. And you don't have to get it all back, John. I always look at this, you break it in a couple minute segments. You know, at the 12-minute mark, we want to be down to 8. At the 8-minute, down to 4.
Baker contested 2, missed, rebound by Kittleson. Knocked away, Gibson gets the steal. Gibson will take it back. Oh, and Baker coming from behind commits the foul. Trying to get the block, but it'll force Gibson to earn it from the line with a hard foul.
And I've seen Wheeler Baker. I mean, I never knew he was this athletic. I mean, he's had a couple explosive blocks. You can see that they were above the rim on that. Got him almost with his feet. He was high enough where it was a foot foul on that. But nonetheless, it's a turnover on one end, converting it into points on the other end, which is exactly what Champlin wants. And what they do too, John, if you think about it, they get a lead on you and they continue to put the pressure. You start feeling like, okay, I got to take extra shot. I got to shoot this 3. I got to make it happen. And you start forcing and pressing, and in return, you end up making bad decisions. And that lead goes from one thing to even bigger. You know what I mean by that? It's a tough predicament to get behind to this Champlin team.
Rebels equal their biggest lead of the night, 17. Dembley fouled by Gibson.
Yeah, interesting offense. Dembly and Baker there, you know, who are both guards. They're running a high ball screen. I think they're trying to get a switch. There's no question. You know, one of my things was Wheeler Baker versus length. They've actually put Ian Smith on him, and that's even bothered him more. Because he's quick enough to stay in front of him. Wheeler Baker does a great job, John, of creating space. You know, he's so quick. He hasn't been able to shake free for open looks.
Tyson outside for three. That misses. Rebounded though by Kane. He'll take it strong to the basket and he'll go to the line for two.
Yeah.
Fouls on Hill.
And I can promise you, Champlin Park would much rather see Ian Tyson around the three-point line shooting those than down low camping out where he's unstoppable. Elliott Kane, great effort. And I love he got that rebound and he just went in an attack to put the pressure on the defense, and they need some bad points here to start the second half. So nice job, Elliott Kane.
First point for Osseo here in the second half. We played 1:33 and he gets them both. Smith to the baseline. Witt guarded by Tyson. Takes it to the basket. Block shot. Tyson's blocked Witt a couple of times down low. And
what's funny is Brendan's usually really quick and explosive down by the basket. Those are kind of slow, methodical, almost trying to overpower Ian Tyson.'s not going to do that. He's got to square him up and just try to blow by him.
Pastrano gets a hand in there, creates the steal for the Orioles. Baker to Kane. And back to Baker, and Osseo reset. Now we'll go down low to Tyson. Nice gather of the ball. Gets it back on the second try and one.
What an effort, John. Not only the basket, but the entry pass to him. Watch him go get this ball. Unbelievable. And you can see just relentless going after it, keeping the ball high. He's such a big, strong kid. And I like that. They're going down to him. I think they got to keep feeding him, keep trying to get him to work, because he can put the other team in foul trouble, get to the free throw line, stop the clock. You can set your defense. I mean, so many good things happen when you have a big fellow like that can score down low.
Fouls on Witt, his second. No one in the game with more than 2 fouls. Tyson completes his second three-point play of the game. He's got 12 points, and then margin is back to 12, which is where we were at halftime.
And the other thing too, John, if he gets it down low and he keeps drawing fouls, Osseo's going to get into the bonus quicker.
Witt back out. Three-point try for Hill. Missed. Scramble on the floor. Picked up by Gibson. And they'll give it back out to Johnson.
I don't know what the number is, John, but I mean, it's got to be about 15 offensive rebounds, just getting more possessions for the Rebels.
Johnson off for Hill. Down low to Witt. Kicks it back out. Gibson three. It's good.
Well, first half it was Marty Hill. It was Jeremy Johnson. Second half now it's JT Gibson. You pick your poison.
Tyson had it stripped. Got it back. Gives it down low to Pastrano. Feeding it further in for Dembly. Up and in plus a foul.
What a big time move. I don't know how they kept that going, John. But Jordan Dembly caught that. It looked like he had nowhere to go. I mean, look at this. There's a great pass down low to Pastrano. He goes over to Dembly. Between 3 defenders, somehow muscles that ball in, showing off his strength. Osseo been able so far to convert on these three-point play opportunities.
Johnson picks up a foul. It's his third, so he'll come out. Alec Lebo in.
But you can see, you can see for Champlin, John. I mean, they got so many perimeter guys that all pretty much do the same thing. And when you have multiple shooters, you can survive if one person has an off night. You know what I mean? Whereas if Wheeler Baker has an off night for Osseo, I don't know if they can overcome that. Champlin's got 3-4 other guys that are capable of picking it up.
Almost an over and back, but Hill able to save it for Smith. Back to Hill, and he's fouled by Pastrano. First foul on Pastrano. Second team foul on Osseo. Champlin Park already with 4 team fouls.
What an effort play just to keep that ball from being over and back violation, because it looked like it was pretty darn close to it. That could have been a turnover layup on the other end. Instead, it's a foul, and Champlin gets a reset.
McKinley right in for the first time in the second half. Marty Hill out. Gibson, another three. This one comes up short, and the rebound to Dembley. He'll push it ahead for the Orioles. Dembley to the basket and scores.
Well, yeah, great job responding right now, Osseo. But Jordan Dembley, John, he's the other third player that averages in double figures. Relatively quiet in the first half, wasn't aggressive. Second half, maybe he's going to be that other scorer to step up that we talked about. And I love that he just took his body, used it, and he said, I'm going to get to the rim. The only way you're going to stop me is if you foul me. And you'll love to see that. Now he's got, already 7 points, so he's off to a big start. So they're starting to get some scoring going, John, from someone other than Wheeler Baker, Ian Tyson.
(47-37). They were down 10 late in the first half. Still haven't gotten it under 10. And that's their next step. You talked about putting the game into sections and winning every couple of minutes.
Yeah, we used to look at especially in college when you had media timeouts, but it was a 4-minute game. And if you have a lead, you're down 10. Okay, guys, at 10 minutes, let's have it down to 6. That's only 2 possessions that you have to win at. If you look at it like that, it's not an insurmountable lead. You don't have to get it all back at once, but you do have to start playing defense. You do have to start securing defensive rebounds.
Witt hands it off to Gibson. One of them was out of bounds. Smith, and it's a turnover for Champlin Park.
Yeah. Osseo's picked up the pressure too, John. I mean, there were lanes and gaps that Champlin was able to exploit. Osseo's having great help defense here in the second half. There's just nowhere to go for him, and they're overpassing.
Tyson, three is good.
I mean, what a weapon to have a 6'10" guy that can step out and knock a three down. And he's got good touch. He's capable. Again, I think he's more effective down low, but God, if he can step out and knock that down, I mean, that's what a treat.
13-3 run for the Orioles. Baker rebounds the right miss. 12.5 minutes to go. It's just a 7-point game now. Baker puts it on the floor to the basket and scores.
What a tough bucket. And you can feel, I mean, the momentum has completely swung over to the Osseo side. Their crowd is fired up. Wheeler Baker looked like he had nowhere to go and somehow muscled through that people. And this is where Champlin, they're going to have to say, hey, can we execute, guys? We've still got a 5-point lead. We just got to execute here.
Smith off to Witt. Into the lane. Shot blocked by Tyson. Here comes Dembley back the other way. Dembley will take it to the basket and miss this one. Tyson rebounds and puts it in. It's a 3-point game.
How about the big fella hustling down on the other end, going right over 2 Champlin defenders, and just to have the wherewithal to know where he's at and then finish too. He's been impressive here, John.
Smith driving, floater over, Dembley won't go. Foul underneath. And a foul on Tyson. I think a good call. He almost tackled Smith, and the foul on Ian Tyson is his first.
I thought the original whistle was on the shot. That's the right call. They're getting Ian Tyson. The battle of the Ians here. Ian Smith, Ian Tyson.
Right.
You can see you can see him pull him down right there. And Champlin's actually arguing that it happened during the shot. And if you look at that replay, it did occur. It looked like during the shot. So Osseo fortunate to not have 2 free throws given to Champlin.
Inbound comes to Gibson. They got Jeremy Johnson back in there. We're going to get a foul.
Yeah. And I like Coach Tyson just telling Wheeler Baker, hey, back off. There's no reason to get a foul like that 30 feet away from the hoop.
It's Baker's third.
It's his third. So he's telling them back up, play pressure, but there's no reason to do that. And I like that. Good coaching right there by Coach Tyson.
Team fouls even now at 4 apiece. Just a 3-point game.
John, you and I, when we work together, we get good games.
We do. Pull-up jumper is missed by Gibson. Ball tapped in the air. Dembley's got it. Dembley's had a big second half. Ahead to Kittleson on the pass. Back for the trailer, Baker. Baker will go baseline. Tough shot off the glass, not good. Gets his own rebound. Stripped of the ball by Lebo. Lebo for Ian Smith. And he'll go to the line for 2.
I'll tell you what a play, John. Alec Lebo. First of all, Wheeler Baker attacks hard there. It looked like he was going to follow that up. Kept it, but Alex Lebo with the quick hands. Watch this hustle. Just to keep that ball alive. Ian Smith then puts the pressure on, and I'll tell you, Champlin is in bad need of a point here just to stop the bleeding a little bit.
Not yet.
Well, and it's funny when you start feeling the pressure, John, you tighten up a little bit. Nothing quite feels quite as good as the rim doesn't look as big as it used to. They just need to get a bucket here, reset, and no matter what happens, they still have the lead.
It does get the second one. Anderson came in after the first free throw for Baker to give him a rest, and now Tyson back in for Kittleson.
Well, and Baker's out of the game, so I'd like to see them try to get the ball down low to the big fella who's really hustled. He's gotten offensive rebounds. He's knocked down threes. He's really done it all. And I don't think Champlin has an answer for him size-wise.
4-point game. Dembley to the basket. Foul on Witt. And Dembley will go to the line for 2. That'll be 3 fouls on Witt. So Witt and Johnson, 3 fouls each for Champlin Park. Baker with 3 for Osseo.
And I think at this point, you keep anyone in the game with 3 fouls, but it could come into play where if we saw Brendan Witt foul out earlier in the week, and if he picks that 4th foul up with quite a bit of time left, that could be a factor. But I'll tell you, one of the things that's changed the course of this game is Jordan Dembley's aggressiveness on the offensive end. He's really put the pressure on, getting to the basket at will, and I think that's exactly what Osseo needed.
Dembley's second free throw is good. The 6 of 8, his 8 points have come here after halftime, and back to a 3-point game again. Johnson to Witt, back out Hill. Finds Witt, drives to the basket, and one.
That's a big-time move, and I love to see Brendan Witt be aggressive, John. He's kind of, the last 2 games, doesn't seem as aggressive. He turned the corner there, and that's a great call. I think that was the right call, and he able to take the contact and finish the play. Big bucket for Champlin, maybe even a bigger bucket for Brendan Witt to see the ball go in the basket.
Just his second basket tonight. Foul on Dembley is his 3rd. Witt misses the free throw, rebounded by Tyson. .10 to play, second half. Ball on the floor, stripped away by Champlin Park. 4-on-2 break. Lebo, nice move to get under Anderson and puts it away.
It really was. And Alex Lebo averaging under 7 a game, but Ian Smith set him up, and Alex Lebo contorted his body to avoid the contact and went underneath the taller defender. There's another turnover.
Johnson to Lebo. Lebo comes out, but he'll go to the line for 2.
This place, I think, was about ready to explode.
One end of the gym, anyway, was.
Yeah, right. But I'll tell you, Alex Lebo has come out. He's playing with a ton of confidence, and he's really done a lot on the defensive end. We've seen quick hands initiating, transition offense from his defense. And that time, he just went right at the basket, drew the foul, and almost had a 3-point play.
Coach Tyson pleading his case for some foul calls on the Rebels have been pressuring the ball these last couple times down the court. Baker's back into the game along with Kittleson.
Well, that's 17 fouls too, John, already on Osseo. So Champlin will be in the bonus for really the last 10 minutes of the second half.
Lebo misses both free throws, though, so that's big because that ball was almost down on the shot. Instead, they get no points, and it's still a 7-point game. Baker almost had it stripped away by Johnson.
Well, and those are other games we've seen Osseo. He's able to get to the rim almost at will. Champlin's done really a great job, and I love that. They're going into the big guy. They throw it over the top. Lebo tried to go for the steal. Instead, Ian Tyson keeps that ball up high, able to finish. He's got 19 points. But Wheeler Baker, there's just nowhere for him to go when he's penetrating. They're having great help side defense. Champlin is on Wheeler Baker.
Through the hands of Hill, turnover Champlin Park.
And you can feel it. Osseo's ratcheted up the pressure a little bit. They're denying ball passes, pressure, and forcing Champlin to maybe pass it earlier than they like, and forced a few more turnovers here in the second half.
We still got a half a basketball to go. This is as good as it gets, Ryan.
A half of a half
yes.
of basketball.
Half of a half, yes. Driving, pull up.
Yep.
Baker's a good shooter from there. Can't hit this one. Rebels on the run. Hill's got Liebel cutting back, and Kane comes back for the block. Here comes Baker. Ahead to Kittleson. He'll drive. Blocked by Witt out of bounds.
Oh, wow.
Good defense on both ends.
Yeah, we had great defense on both ends. There's Champlin. Liebel goes up, one block on that end, and then Kittleson running hard. Baker gets in the ball. Watch Brendan Witt. Watch how high he gets up. I mean, he's above the rim there.
Tyson trying to muscle in. Ball on the floor. And on the baseline, as he had the basketball, was Johnson, and it's a turnover. It's over to Osseo.
You just love the intensity. When you watch the effort here, both teams just fighting for the ball. You can see, I think Jeremy Johnson gets on the floor. He's out of bounds. John, nothing else is like, playoff basketball here, where every possession matters and is played.
Foul call on Ian Smith, his second. 6 team fouls on the Rebels.
Yeah, but that's big. So the next one, they're going to be shooting the bonus. So both teams for the rest of the game will be in the bonus. That's number 2 on Ian Smith as well.
A little discussion between some of the players and one official. One official's coming over the score table here. I'm not sure exactly what the discussion is, but
I heard something about Real Housewives of Atlanta. They were talking about what happened. But let's see if Osseo can get a design play here out of bounds, and they do.
And a timeout for Osseo as Baker hits it back to a 3-point game.
I saw that. There was eye contact between Elliott Kane and Wheeler Baker and Ian Tyson, and they were talking to Ian like, we're going to throw it to you. Ian backed up, and Wheeler Baker slid right behind. They threw it up to him. He gets an easy bucket. They get a timeout. They can regroup. And, John, we got a one-possession game. I mean, from going from 16 where it looked like Champlin maybe was going to run away with this thing, now we got a tight game, and really anything can happen, too.
Champlin Parks is led by as many as 17 4 different times, and Osseo chipped away. They got it to 10 late in the first half. Then Champlin Park gets the basket at the buzzer to make it 12. They go up by 17 early in this half, and Osseo comes back. Combination of a good defense, working the ball into Ian Tyson has been big. Jordan Dembley's had some big shots, and they've closed out defensively very well and played much better.
You know what I think it comes down to, and we talked about it, is experience. They know how good they are. They know what they're capable of. They've been here. Some teams that maybe haven't been here, you get down like that, you hang your head, woe is me, and it can really go south. Instead, this is their 4th one in a row they've been here. They know that they can play better. They know how to execute, and they've done that. And they've been down before, they've come back, and really a great testament to Coach Tyson, to their team, for fighting back and getting back into this game.
I think it's a discussion, something has to do with the buzzer, something with the score clock itself that the officials talking to the referees about.
Yeah, John, they're talking the horn is malfunctioning, wasn't working properly, so they were just letting both of them know that if they don't hear the horn, they're going to be looking over for substitutions, that kind of thing.
Champlin Park trying to regroup. They've been rattled a little bit here in the second half after having the big lead, and then Baker gets the steal. Diving to the floor, Baker and Smith, and we're going to get a foul on Wheeler Baker. That's going to be his 4th. Oh, that's a huge call. Let's look at it again.
Great defense, Wheeler Baker. Oh, my.
That's a tough call.
That's should be a no call. I mean, that was just excellent effort by Wheeler Baker. Two guys going for the ball.
And there's the free throw shooting tonight for each of these teams. Champlin Park will need to do better down the stretch if they're to pull this one out. Baker's got to come out now with the 4 fouls.
And he's frustrated, and I agree on that one. That was just two guys making a great effort on the ball. Well, and the repercussions are obviously significant. You got Ian Smith, who's a great free throw shooter, extending the lead, but now you got Wheeler Baker with 4 fouls. He's got to come out. Osceo's offense completely changes with him out of the game, and there's still plenty of time left, too. The question will be how long will Coach Tyson go without Wheeler Baker?
Smith 6 out of 8 from the free throw line. Margin is 5. With 8 minutes to play in the section final.
Well, who's going to step up for Osseo? Is it going to be Elliott Kane, Jordan Dembley, Ian Tyson, who someone else has got to help with the scoring load, especially with Wheeler Baker out of the lineup?
Pastrano to Kittleson, stripped away but knocked out of bounds. Gibson couldn't control it. Still Orioles basketball.
And you can see they're trying to look for Ian Tyson. Champlin's having 3, sometimes 4 guys surrounding him in front, each side, behind.
Kane 3 won't go. Pastrano up over Johnson, gets the rebound and put back.
That's huge, and he's long enough. He got that rebound. He kept it up high, able to finish. That's a big bucket for the Osseo Orioles.
Great job of going over the defensive player without committing a foul.
I mean, he just went straight up, didn't body him up, but then he kept the ball high, too. This is Ian Smith time. I mean, we saw him take over in the playoff game the other day. The end of the game, this is when he really handles well. This is when he can get to the basket, make plays for himself and also for his teammates.
Gibson out to Hill. Ball was knocked away, but Hill able to gather it back. Now there's 7 minutes to go. Hill will attack. Now kick it out to the corner. Johnson 3, long, rebounded by Witt. Witt goes baseline, back out Johnson. Another 3-ball look. That one's good.
That's been Champlin's formula tonight. That missed shot, a second chance, offensive rebound, creates another shot, and they're too good offensively, too good as shooters. You keep giving them more opportunities, they're going to convert eventually. And that's Brendan Witt's value right there. He hasn't scored much, but he's kept a lot of possessions extended.
Dembley starting to go to the top of the key and fouled by Smith. That's his 3rd.
Yeah, and that was coming off the offensive rebound there. Brendan drives baseline, defense collapses, and Jeremy Johnson, who's had a relatively quiet night, only 8 points. But having the confidence to shoot a second shot in that possession. But that play was made, Brendan Witt getting the offensive rebound on the hustle play.
Dembley 3 baskets, 2 out of 3 from the free throw line.
Well, I think it'll be great with Wheeler Baker on the bench right now with those 4 fouls. If Osseo can just maintain this kind of 3 to 5, maybe 6-point game, and I think with about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes left, you're going to see Coach Tyson bring Wheeler Baker back in to close it. Because at some point you just say, what are we waiting for? You know what I mean?
Right.
We could have him sit the rest of the game with 4 fouls, or we can try to win with them. So I bet you'll try to get another 1.5 to 2 minutes with Wheeler Baker on the bench.
Dembley hits both free throws, 4-point game. Smith to Gibson as the Rebels spread the floor a little bit here. Orioles hoping to get a 5-second call. Now it's to Witt. Witt trying to get it to Smith, who's it off of? It's off of Dembley. Still Rebels basketball.
And what Champlin does when they do this, it's almost like they're running 5 out. And because they all can handle the ball and they're all quick, they basically keep going back and forth until they get a matchup, John, that they like. And they'll try to beat him off the dribble and either get all the way to the rim or create for a teammate.
Smith, tough shot and gets it to drop.
What a bucket. He went left, baseline, brought the ball back to his right across his body and still able to finish over a taller defender. He plays a lot bigger, a lot tougher than his actual height.
Kane 3, not good, but Tyson the offensive rebound. Up over Witt with the shot and in.
You know, he does that, John, he's unguardable. Offensive rebound, keeps the ball up high, able to knock that down, and sure enough, with about 5:20 left, Wheeler Baker with 4 fouls going to come back into the game. And I like that move by Coach Tyson.
Gibson Jump shot won't go. Rebound to Tyson.
Did that look like there was contact there on the drive? I mean,
Dembley front court. 5 minutes to play. Orioles trail by 4.
Well, they've done a nice job. They've maintained this margin even with Wheeler Baker on the floor. Coach Tyson inquiring about how many timeouts they have. I think he knows how important it is to get his best scorer back into the game.
Kittleson thought about the shot from the corner and gives it back up to Kane. Kane from 17, it's good.
What a move. I mean, that was a little right-handed, inside-out crossover to create space. A beautiful looking move right into his rhythm, and he knocks a tough jumper. And we're back to 2 points, John.
Smith missed completely, hit the side of the backboard. Osseo the rebound, a chance to take the lead or tie at minimum with the 2. Baker's been at the scorer's table for 1:25 now. No whistles, 4 minutes to go. Pastrano. Cross for Kane. Lebo couldn't get the steal. Kane missed. Tyson the rebound. We're tied up. Osseo timeout. 59-all.
Well, here's the Elliott Kane. Watch this move. Inside out, crossover right into his jump shot. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And then this 3 by Kane looked like it was going to go down, and he shot it in rhythm. The ball goes in and out, and the big fella, as he's done all night long, 23 points, keeps that ball up high. No one on this court can block that or contest that, John. And credit Osseo and their toughness with their best player, Wheeler Baker, on the bench the last few minutes with foul trouble. Not only able to maintain that margin, but actually to make margin up, and we got a tie ball game. And what it does too, John, is when it's tight like this, the section final, everyone gets a little bit edgier, a little tighter. You start questioning, should I shoot this? So it's going to be who can just play basketball, who can shake the crowd off, shake the nerves off, and just play basketball for the last 3:45 of this game to go to the state tournament.
Champlin Park has not given up the lead yet, but now they have been tied for the first time. 3:30 to go. Smith, the senior, hands it off. Marty Hill had a big game shooting. All his points, though, in the first half. Tough shot. Pastrano gets the block. Dembley across to Kane. And Dembley will bring it up. Orioles with a chance to take the lead.
I'll tell you, Pastrano, great defense. It looked like there was an opening there. Marty Hill had a step on him, and Pastrano just with his length able to block it. And Osseo are going to be content now to take some time off the floor. Either force Champlin to come out of what they're doing. Otherwise, they'll hold for as long as they possibly can.
2:45 to go. Dembley. They hold away from the ball on Champlin Park. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Baker. Fouls on Ian Smith, his 4th.
His 4th, which is big. It's also big because you're sending a great free throw shooter to the line. And it's also big because Wheeler Baker's been quiet all night, and it's a chance for him to see the ball go in again as well.
3 of 4 from the line tonight for Baker. All of those came in the first half. For the lead for Osseo. One more coming. The senior headed to Albany in New York State next year. Like to finish off his high school career in style. We could get a foul on Osseo. Pastrano. It'll be 1-and-1 the other way.
The question is, who did he foul? Did he foul Jeremy Johnson, or did he foul Brendan Witt? Or Marty Hill, excuse me. And that's a good thing for Champlin. Marty Hill, a better free throw shooter than Brendan Witt.
Hill's first time at the free throw line tonight, though. 5 baskets in the first half. Not scored here in the second.
They've done a nice job of limiting his opportunities here in the second half. But he knocks a big one down. Getting that first one, obviously, in a one-on-one is always critical. There you can see some of the members of the Hopkins boys basketball team who, after Apple Valley losing last night, John, are maybe the prohibitive favorites for the state tournament this year.
That will certainly be the #1 seed.
Yep.
Second one missed, so we're tied at 60 with 2.5 minutes to play.
Well, Osseo's going to spread the floor here. They're going to go 5-out motion, they call it. And they do it. They're trying to see if they can get a matchup that, like, get some driving angles, maybe free up Wheeler Baker so there's no help side on him. I expect him to end up with the ball in his hands and see if he can get something going to the basket here. And they had to take Ian Smith off of Wheeler Baker with that 4 fouls, and they put JT Gibson on him instead.
2 minutes to go. Baker, Johnson is looking for a steal, didn't get it.
And there you can see they're trying to double. They're going to double Wheeler Baker, get the ball out of his hands, make someone else on Osseo beat them. And I like that strategy by Coach Tucksher.
Baker, is he going to try to take Gibson off the dribble, ball loose on the floor, scramble for it, and Osseo gets timeout call.
That was a quick timeout there, John. Great effort, Ian Tyson. He gets on the floor, referee determines he had possession of it and gave him the timeout. Great effort by the big fella for Osseo.
And a great timeout for Osseo. They don't give up the turnover because a jump ball. Possession arrows favoring Champlin Park.
Here's what I'm going to look for, John, is that I think they'll try to take some time off the clock. I'd be surprised if they don't use Wheeler Baker, just the way this action has gone. Use him coming off, try to get the attention that way, and maybe throw over the top to Ian Tyson, or even potentially get Jordan Dembley or even Elliott Kane, who's been someone else to actually be the primary option. But just with all the attention Champlin's played on Wheeler Baker, you know they're going to be looking for that. You know they're going to be focused. Can you slip a screen? Can you get someone else on a back door? You know, or whatever it might be. That's something to watch for in this possession.
A lot of fun tonight up here at Rogers High School. Again, possession arrow, if there's a tie-up, goes to Champlin Park. Champlin Park is in the double bonus. Osseo still with one more in the one-on-one before they would go to 2 shots.
The other thing you look for, too, you get Ian Tyson setting a screen for Wheeler Baker so that Wheeler's coming off, and they're going to look to show, and Ian Tyson then can seal his guy, bury him, and see if they can get a quick dump in down to Ian Tyson, who's got a clear size advantage. He's had it all night long. 23 points, a bunch of rebounds, and he's got height and size over Brennan Witt.
Back in play. Dembley will bring it across into the front court. Minute 25 to go.
Well, they had Ian Tyson on the roll there, but I think it might have been too early. I think they want to take some more clock off before they go at the rim.
Kane across for Dembley, 1:10 to go. Osseo still has a couple of timeouts to see if they whittle the clock down more and take another one. Dembley, thought about attacking, gives it up to Tyson now. He'll come back out, hand it back for Dembley, under a minute to go.
And Ian was open on that roll. He's got to look for that unless they don't want to go at it this early. But that pick and roll is available there.
45 seconds to double Dembley on the ball. In a little trouble, gets it off for Pastrano. Kane is open, didn't look to shoot at all. 35 seconds to go, ball in Dembley's hand.
Well, you wonder if they're going to get it down to about 15, 20 seconds and then maybe call timeout and get a set play. And you can hear the electricity in the building, John.
Fans on their feet with 25 seconds to go. And a timeout for Osseo with 21 seconds left.
What a great possession for Osseo. I mean, they handled the pressure, were very strong, very confident with the ball, and they took a minute and a half off the clock doing that. And I think that's their plan. They wanted, because they had an opportunity to go at the basket, and they didn't take it. So I think that was their plan. Run this thing down, be strong with the ball. We have another timeout if we need it. Let's make sure you always tell your team in a situation like this, when you have the ball and you're tied, we may not win in regulation, but we're certainly not going to lose it in regulation. So you want to tell you guys, let's get a shot off with about 3-4 seconds left so you have a chance to maybe get an offensive rebound. But if you do miss, you're not leaving that much time where Champlin can then go down the other score, barring a half-court shot or something of that nature.
What a terrific high school basketball game here tonight. Osseo down the whole night, trailing by 17 at several points in this game, including early in the second half. Come back to tie it. Now looking to get to state for the third time in 4 years. The Rebels looking for their first trip to state since 2010.
You know, John, we're watching this game, and I think I would be shocked if it's not a Wheeler-Baker, Ian Tyson combo. Whatever, if it's a high ball screen and a hard roll, trying to get Wheeler off of it where he can turn the corner. If they double, you know, you keep Elliott Kane wide where he might be an option for a shot, or you have Ian Tyson on a hard roll to the basket. But you got a couple of different things. Or I won't be surprised they deny Wheeler-Baker and Jordan Dembley ends up with the ball in his hands and has to make something happen.
Here we go, Dembley with the basketball. 15 seconds to play.
There's the double.
Baker.
There's the double, and that's who they...
Pastrano to the corner. Kane dumping it off, ball loose, out of bounds off Osseo. They turn it over with 6.5 seconds left.
Yeah, and great job by Champlin Park defense there. They wanted the ball, John, out of Wheeler-Baker's hands. They wanted someone else, whether Pastrano or Kane, to make the decision. And actually, Champlin's really fortunate Elliott stepped out because he made a great pass to Ian Tyson, who would have had a game-winning layup. Unfortunately, he just stepped out of bounds. And the other unfortunate thing is there's enough time now where Champlin Park can get a decent shot off. Was there about 3.5 seconds? Is that what
6.5.
6, yeah. Yep. I mean, that's more than enough time to advance the ball, set up some type of set play, and get a good look. They also have another timeout, so you wonder, are they going to advance the ball in a second or two and call another timeout to try to get a half-court execution? We'll see. But you got Ian Smith, who he's a senior, he's your captain. We've seen how quick he is. He can get down the floor in 3 or 4 seconds and get a layup. You surround him with shooters. If someone collapses, he makes the right play. You get a good look for a chance to go to the state tournament. But what more can you ask for? I mean, it's just it's a great, great fun atmosphere and great experience for these kids. And you wish it could go on forever for them. Right. They're going to look back, win or lose. Obviously, the losers are going to be sad, but it's just a fun thing to be a part of.
Witt will inbound.
You got to be careful if you're Osseo. You want to pressure the ball. You don't want to play a prevent, if you will, and let him do it. But you also can't foul because you're in the bonus. So you got to play.
Somebody's coming back for the ball. It's Smith.
And Ian Smith's got the quickness here, John.
Trying to take Pastrano. Shot blocked. And we'll go to overtime.
I thought he had the angle there. It looked like he got a good shot off. And Ian Tyson comes over, the big fella. And I knew Ian Smith did have the quickness. He's able to get by him. And that's just great help side defense by Ian Tyson coming over to block that shot. And how fitting to decide the state tournament appearance that we're going to overtime, John.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with the overtime from Rogers. More coverage of the Section 5 Boys Basketball Championship in a moment.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown. John Jacobson and Ryan Iverson back at Rogers at start of overtime. Osseo and Champlin Park. I think for the Rebels, they got the ball in the hands of the player they wanted to. Just great defense by the Orioles to force the overtime.
Yeah, it was, and great defense. Like you said, good man-to-man defense. I'll tell you who, Giovanni Pastrano, who's a lot bigger, did a nice job of pressuring, but yet not fouling, taking enough time, and then Ian Tyson does what a big fella should do, comes over and helps his teammate out, blocks that one away, and we go into overtime. Great defense by both teams down the stretch on those last few possessions.
60-60. Opening possession for Osseo. They can relax a little bit. That's quite the intensity of the last minute.
Yeah. But you can't do too much. I mean, there's only 4 minutes, so you don't want to mess around a few possessions, get down 5 or 6, and it can be over just like that.
Already taken 30 seconds off the clock here. Kane left wing. Dembele and now to Baker. Gibson right in his face. Got a screen for a moment, gets a jumper from the baseline and hits. That's enough to free him up for the open jumper.
And that was a tough shot, great defense. There was a hand in his face. JT Gibson was right there, who was a little longer. That was just a good defense, but better offense. And it's always good to get that first bucket in overtime. You get the weight off your back, you get the lead, it kind of sets the tone for the next 3 minutes.
Gibson trying to take Baker to the basket. Missed shot. Good look for Gibson, but it wouldn't go. And Tyson rebound. Trying to draw that 5th foul on Baker.
Good defense, too, by Wheeler. Not fouling on that, but yet not giving a layup away. And now you can tell Osseo's going to be content to take another minute and a half. Try to force Champlin either gambling or trying to foul him where they can get to the free throw line.
Tyson gets it on the baseline, out to Kane for 3, and he rattles it home.
What a big shot. Elliott Kane, he's played well. He's had a couple of shots go in and out. And that time, great job, pick and roll. They get it down, Ian Tyson, defense collapses. Elliott Kane fills right at the top of the key, shot, nice in rhythm. And you can see they wanted to run this high ball screen, and they do that. Ian gets it, you can see everything collapses. Elliott Kane, and that was deep too, John. And he knocks it down, his first 3 of the game. And none bigger this year than that 3 right there for Elliott Kane. And now it's Champlin's turn to battle back. We've seen Osseo do it really from the start of the game. And now Champlin's got to play hungry, and sometimes you get behind and you stop feeling nervous, you start attacking again, and it's almost easier playing offense when you're down a little bit. So, and again, you don't have to get it back. You don't need a 3, you don't need a tough, just work it down, get a good shot, and get it back to 1 possession where anything can happen.
Then you're going to need a stop or a couple on defense. The Champlin's in a tough spot right now, trailing by 5. They do have the basketball with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in overtime. Marty Hill will inbound. Champlin Park, #1 seed in this section. Can they pull this out? Ian Smith, 2:10 to go.
Yeah, and that's Wheeler Baker.
Foul on Baker. He better not argue too strong or get a technical foul. He's not going to get, but he is going to be called for a hold in his 5th foul, and Baker is out of the game.
Wow. And no need for it, too, but what that does, John, not only is Champlin in the double bonus, so you got 2 free throws coming, clock stops, but you get the, obviously, Wheeler Baker, his 5th foul out of the game for the remaining 2:08 of overtime. That's a big, big play.
Kittleson in. Gibson will go to the line. It's a 2-shot foul because it's a 10th team foul on Osseo, so the double bonus in effect.
And it looked like Gibson was running off of a screen, didn't have the ball, so it was away from the ball. Yeah, let's see if we can take a look, and you can see Wheeler Baker at the top coming off, following JT Gibson. who's coming off the screen. You can see he definitely grabbed a hold.
Second free throw missed by Gibson, so it's still a 2-possession game. Tyson got the rebound. 2 minutes to go, and the Orioles certainly don't need to shoot at all. Need to take care of the basketball, and eventually Champlin Park will have to foul.
Yep.
Kane, and Gibson fouls him from behind. Third on Gibson, 19 fouls. This will be the last 1-and-1 try as Kane will go to the line. He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line tonight. His free throw's coming early in the second half.
And Coach Tucker telling JT, no fouls. We don't need a foul yet. And especially you're putting a pretty good free throw shooter, at the line.
Missed it though and rebounded by Witt. 4-point game, 1:45 left.
And you don't need a 3 here, John. You just need to get your offense, get some good motion, get some movement, get the Osseo defense to move, get a driving lane, and see if you can get a layup, get an easy shot.
Gibson, free throw line, hands it off to Smith. Gives it low down to Hill, up and in.
Yeah, great pass, Ian Smith. Watch how quick he switches direction here. He's going right behind his back left, and just a beautiful pass and a tough finish too. Marty Hill had to go up and under to finish that, but that was a big time play for Champlin Park. And just the makeup of this game too now with Wheeler Baker out. Wheeler Baker was their guy when things got broken down, when things were in trouble. You knew they were going to follow you. He came and got the ball. He could make it happen. He knocked free throws down. Now you just wonder, who was it? Is it Elliott Kane? Is it Jordan Dembley? Who's going to be the guy to really take ownership of that ball and kind of command the offense? You know what I mean?
65-63, Champlin Park in trouble a minute ago, and all of a sudden they're still down by 2. But now it's a 1-possession game, and Osceo's leading scorer, Baker, is fouled out.
Well, it's something to note too. Both teams from here on out are going to be double bonus, which will play a role. So if you miss that first free throw, you're still going to get a second one.
Possession arrow still in favor of Champlin Park. There'd be a tie-up. There haven't been one in quite a while, but that comes into play.
And I'm sure Coach Tucker was telling his guys to trap, to be aggressive, play the passing lane, see if we can get a steal. And Coach Tyson telling his guys, hey, take care of the basketball. We don't turn the ball over. Watch the double team. Watch the trap. Help your teammates out.
Dembley front court, 1:15 to go. Osseo the basketball are up by 2. Kane to Tyson. On the baseline, double team from behind. Gibson trying to knock the ball away.
Well, a great help side defense, Champlin Park there. Tyson looked like he had an angle. They closed it down in a hurry. And then Osseo thought there was a slap on the ball. And actually, that's a good foul. That's who Champlin wants to foul, is Giovanni Pastrano.
Fouls on Gibson. That's his 4th. And Pastrano to the line. Updated numbers from the free throw line.
And that's why, the free throws are so important. Champlin, usually a good free throw shooter, shooting only 57%. 8 points at the line that they've left out there.
Pastrano hits the first one. He's 2 of 3 from the line tonight. That's 6 points in the game. Two-possession game again. Pastrano knocks them both down with under a minute to go in overtime.
Collected, John. He stepped up. That ball didn't even hit the rim.
Smith to the basket is fouled to go to the line for 2.
God, he's quick. He split the double team there. Went right underneath Ian Tyson. And he changes direction so quick. Watch him go literally right underneath 2 defenders and almost had the 3-point play. He's a good free throw shooter. You get to the line, you stop the clock. You got to knock these down, but then you can get your defense all set up. It gives Coach Tucker an opportunity to talk to his guys and get them situated, tell them what the plan is. So getting to the free throw line in this kind of situation is a big deal.
Foul was on Dembley. That's his 4th. Second one missed. Rebounded by Tyson. 3-point Osseo lead. 45 seconds left.
Well, scouting report is big. This is where you know who's a good free throw shooter, who do you want to foul at this time.
And they'll foul Pastrano again. They'll take a chance. Johnson comes out and commits the foul.
And statistically, that's a good idea, but the last time he was at the line, he looked like he was born to live at the free throw line. He knocked him down perfectly. You know, when you're at the line in a close game, you block everything out, and you tell yourself, I've done this a million times, like he's doing right now. You know how many times you practice, you dream of this, to make free throws, to go to the state tournament. And then to step up and actually do it is, of course, a totally different thing, but very impressive by this young man.
Missed the second one, but Champlin Park gets the rebound. It's a two-possession game now. 30 seconds to go in overtime. Osseo trying to get back to state for the third time in 4 years. Hill from the wing for three, missed. Rebound chased down by Smith. Smith. Johnson's shot blocked by Pastrano and secured by Dembly. Ahead for Kinnison. Osseo's going to go to the state tournament. Ahead to Hill. Witt from the corner. No. Johnson three is good. They will get a timeout with 0.6 seconds left, but the Orioles are going to win it. How about that?
I'm speechless, John. I'm usually not loss of words, but that was just exciting basketball. And great defense. Osseo getting the hand up, being able to block that shot. It looked like Champlin was going to regain possession. Instead, Osseo tips it out, and Connor Kittleson goes down the other end for a semi-dunk. But yeah, of course, Champlin hits a big three to keep it at least viable, and it looked like they got a timeout with a little bit over a second remaining. I don't know what they're going to put on the clock, but Osseo, all they have to do, inbounds the ball, and this game's over. What a game.
It's 70-67 with about a second left. We'll see if they do put any more time on the clock.
You know, this is where having a big fellow like Ian Tyson, you throw it up high where only he can get it. All he's got to do is turn, catch, and the game is over.
1.5 seconds. They put another 9/10 of a second on. Still, it'd have to be a steal and a three for Champlin Park to force another overtime. They get it ahead to Kane. The Osseo Orioles are going to state. They come down back from 17 points down, Ryan, to win it in overtime.
Yeah, and credit Osseo, their fight, their effort, they kept grinding. They got the ball into their advantage tonight was Ian Tyson. And if you would have told me they were going to win with Wheeler Baker, what end up 12? Is that about
12 points, yeah.
I would have said no way. They had other guys step up. You know, Elliott Kane hit a big three. Jordan Dembly had double figures, and Connor Kittleson had a big game. And how about Giovanni Pastrano hitting big free throws? And Champlin offensively really, you know, having 39 at halftime. They held them to under 30 points in the second half in overtime. Defensively, they turned it up. And again, John, I think experience played a role. These guys, we never felt like they were out of it. They chipped away, and then in overtime, they got the first basket. A lot of times the team that scores first ends up winning. And congratulations to Coach Tyson and this Osseo team. And don't forget, they did it without Wheeler Baker for most of that overtime, as he fouled out early.
Well, and part of that second half late, and he gets the fourth foul, and he has to come out. And these other guys stepped up for them. You look at Jordan Dembley, early in the second half when they were starting that comeback, and Giovanni Pastrana with the free throws and the overtime, playing good defense. A great comeback and a great team effort, really, by Osseo.
Well, one of my questions, where's the scoring for Osseo going to come? And they answered that. And I do want to say congratulations to Champlin Park. You know, the flip side of the celebration is you see guys with the tears in their eyes and they're crying, and you know they poured their heart and soul into basketball, and especially for the seniors and Coach Mark Tucker. They had a heck of a year, consistently ranked in the top 5 in the state of Minnesota, and to come so close too. Congratulations to them.
They finished the season 25-3. Osseo 22-7. They'll go to the state tournament. We'll take time out and hear from the Orioles. You're watching our coverage of the Section 5 Boys Basketball Championship on Channel 12.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
The Osseo Orioles come from behind. They defeat Champlin Park 72-67 in overtime, and the Orioles are headed to the state tournament. Welcome back to Rogers High School. John Jacobson with Elliot Kane and Giovanni Pastrano. And Giovanni, talk about this win. How did you guys do it? Down 17 several times, including early again in the second half.
Well, we were frustrated in the locker room because we were down 17, but we just motivated each other. We knew that we could do it. We planned to go to state the whole time, so we just came fired up, ready to go, and we just got the victory, playing as a team.
Wheeler falls out. He's kind of your key guy, but you guys stick together. What was the talk after he had fouled out there?
We were saying that we had to stick together no matter who came from the bench, and we did. We just rise up to a moment. We hit clutch free throws, we hit clutch threes, and we did everything was necessary to get the win.
What's this feeling like for you to go to the state tournament?
It's amazing. I never felt this amazing before. Like last year, it was horrible because we lost to Park Center in the section finals, and now look at us. We're here going to state.
Congratulations on the win.
Yeah.
Elliot Kane, you hit a big 3 there in overtime to help put your team in the lead for good, and talk about the comeback and your role, and all you guys playing a role in this win tonight.
I mean, we knew we just needed to lock down in the second half. I mean, we didn't play the greatest defense in the first half, but I mean, our goal is always just play good defense. That's what leads it to the state tournament, and that's what we did in the second half, and that's what got us there.
What's it like playing in a game like this when it's so tense and every possession on both ends, you know, can make the difference in the game?
I mean, it's really hard to play in, actually. It's a really fun atmosphere to play in, though. The fans and everybody, and you know you're just playing for your school, and I mean, we really played well in the second half there.
On to the state tournament, and what is this feeling like for you?
I mean, it's amazing. I've always dreamed since I was a little kid going to the state tournament to get there, and I came over here from Maple Grove, and that was my goal. That was all of our goal, to get there, and we made the dream come true.
At this point, you don't know who you're going to play, but do you care? I mean, you're in the state tournament, right?
I mean, it's really cool, but now we just want to get all the way to the championship and win it all now.
Congratulations on this win. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
And Osseo Orioles going to state, as we mentioned, the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. They'll open play Wednesday at the Target Center in the Class 4A quarterfinals. And congratulations to them and to Champlin Park on a great season. That does it for our telecast tonight. For Ryan Iverson and all of our crew, it's Osseo on to the state basketball tournament. They win it over Champlin Park in overtime, 72-67. Analysis.